All right, all right. So praise the Lord, everybody. All right. So we thank God that we are about to be blessed with some great information coming from two dynamic women. Amen. In this presentation of our Kingdom Cash Academy, collectively advancing and sharing hope. All right. And we have Minister Michelle, or I'll say Michelle and Glenda. I'm going to use their whole government. I know my wife's name is Glenda Smith, so I'm good there. I know Minister Michelle's name. I want to say her name right, though. Minister Michelle LaFalaise. I got it right. They're going to be sharing some great information today. We want to welcome everyone in who's on the broadcast on today. Listen, this is going to be some amazing information that you can have for your finance, for your mortgage information, things of that nature. So without further ado, I'm going to bring them up. Minister Michelle and Pastor Glenda, come right on up, and they have their mics so I can take mine with me. Let's give them a round of applause. You all stay with us because you're gonna get some really great information today.
All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, and welcome, and welcome, and welcome. Thank you all for coming out and joining us. We are excited for this is our first Kingdom Cash Academy event, and it's going to be one of many to come.
Yes. Amen.
The Lord
amen.
put it on our hearts to really share our gifts and our talent, and especially our knowledge with everyone. And this is one way that we're going to be sharing. And we it's on our hearts to help improve our communities, improve lives,
Yes.
and to just share. I'll start out by saying that I did not purchase my first home. I am a realtor. I'm Michelle LaFalaise with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Home Sale Realty, mouthful. And how I became a realtor was that I was at my job for 18 years. They let me go. We came to an agreement. It was time for me to go. I had become stagnant. It was just I had reached my peak. And it was just time for me to go. They were shocked, my supervisors were, when they came in and said, we just need to talk to you and that it's time for you to leave. And I said, okay, thank you, bye. They were like, wait a minute, we got to talk about it. They didn't like, wait a minute, we got to talk about it. I said, no, my bags had been packed. All my stuff was already gone. They said, we got to make arrangements with you to get your stuff. I said, no, it's already in my car. God does not let you be caught off.
That's right, off guard.
Off guard. And it was time. So how I became a realtor after that is that I purchased my first home and I was over 50.
Wow.
And I had this fear because at the time I don't know, but I went through a divorce, single, and then got married again. My husband went through some trauma, so I didn't want to be a burden to him and trying to make him think that I was leaning on him for money. So I didn't realize, as a single person, that I could afford to buy a house. I did not think that I could. I didn't know there were so many creative ways for us to purchase homes. And it's not like that my siblings weren't homeowners. Every one of my siblings have, and there's 5 of us, so there's 4. Every one of them have purchased a home. But I never talked to them about it. They never talked to me. And it's just something that was in my mind. I had a mind block, and I didn't ask anybody. I didn't realize that I could purchase a home. So I went on a journey of purchasing my first home. And it was a journey. My realtors, I did not think that they did me a fabulous job. They did a good job, but I didn't think they did a fabulous job, especially in educating me. And so that's why I became a realtor. And I went with Berkshire because as I was shopping for my home, I would see the Berkshire signs and everything, and I thought they were luxury and above me. And I became a Berkshire agent because I feel like maybe some of us think that, and I wanted our people, everybody, to experience and know that you deserve top level. You
right.
deserve the best.
Yes. Wonderful. And my background is banking. Welcome for the two that just came in.
That's
Glad
Shiloh. Hi, Shiloh.
to- My background is banking. I have been in banking since 1978. I'm retired from banking, but that is my, thank God. Not thank God that I'm retired, but thank God I am. But again, my background is banking and various stages of banking. But I could say, as far as when Minister Michelle was talking about the mortgage, Pastor Donald and I, this is our second home that we have bought. But just hearing from what she was saying, a lot I could agree with. No one actually sat down and talked to us about what it means to keep your credit. And I'm from banking, but prior to this, what it means to have good credit, keep your credit straight. Why is banking important? What's involved with the mortgage process? What's involved with just renting or saying out? You can't just jump up one morning and say, I think I'm going to buy a house today. That's not how it works. So you do have to be prepared for that, and no one actually talked to us about those things. So, Pastor Donald and I are way into our senior years now regarding a mortgage. But as Minister Michelle said, we have, down through the years, collected a lot of information, and it's just stored in our brains. And it's just like all of you here today. You hear stuff, you learn stuff concerning finances, concerning mortgages, concerning credit, and you hear it, and sometimes we hear it and we kind of use it when we need it, not realizing that we need to be manipulating, so to say, all of this information down through the years to work to your advantage, so that when you get to the point of, I now want to buy a car, I now think it's time for me to settle down and invest in a mortgage, you are more equipped, you have ammunition, so to say, that you can use to your favor, to your advantage when you go to the table. Because when we're going to go into a lot more information, but just to let you know, they are not going to be working in your favor to the degree that you think they are. This is about business. So they're working to make sure that they get what they're supposed to get. And hopefully you're happy when it's over. But we want to give you information that you can use. And as we continue with this workshop throughout the year and for years to come, that we can just continue to build on what you know and what you use, so that when you go to the bargaining table, so to say, you are ready. They can't pull the wool over your eyes. They can't try to get you to sign on the dotted line and just do this real quick. My husband, and then we're gonna move on. We have had two mortgages, and he's like, "You gonna read all of that?" He said, "It's like 50 pages," and I'm said, "I have no idea what I'm signing." So in our first mortgage, when we were very, very young, and I'm like, yeah, I need to glance through. And I couldn't read all 50 pages sitting there because my husband was looking at me, and the title person is like, "Lady, are you serious?" But I read enough to give me a comfort level to know what I was doing, so that when we sold that house and went for our second mortgage, where we had a house built out here in Harford County, I feel we were a little bit more prepared, but I believe we could have been more prepared if someone had provided information for us. So that is what our goal is with this Kingdom Cash Academy, is that we are providing the tools for you to keep you or help you to be better equipped, regardless of your age, whether you buy a home you look young, so whether you buy a home when you're young, or you wait until you're older to buy the home, or refinance your home.
Or refinance.
Right, buy or refinance, because we refinanced a couple times, that you are equipped with what you need, and knowledgeable, yes, with what you need, so that you can make the best decision, because this is a lifetime decision. You know, sort of like when you get married, to death do us part. Mortgages can be a little different, but if you go on it for 30 years, that's to death do us part.
Right.
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
So, you know, we want to make sure you have the information that you need.
Right. And even if you are thinking of investing in real estate, that's another avenue. And even for those who are seniors in real estate, you might need to take a home equity loan out. That's something that you might want to have questions about and read over. The one thing about it, this is a tip that I would give, because I also used to do loan processing for mortgages, so I know that side also. It is by law. You are supposed to be given the information in time that you can read it before you actually sign it. So if they don't give it any documentation to you, you can request it. If you're going to buy a car, tell them, send it to me, email it to me now, and when I come out, I'll sign it, because that gives you time to read it. Purchasing a home, purchasing a car, because you do need to know, because it comes back to you down the line. You'll say, oh, I didn't know my homeowners association was going to go up every 5 years. And all they have to say is it was in the contract. You signed for it. So those are little things like that. Your car note doesn't normally do it, but they could have a clause in there about you have to pay at the end of the contract, an extra price. So take your time and read it. Take your time. And you have, by law, you have to have that time. You're given that time period. Yes, ma'am.
I was feeling a little embarrassed when we came in because we are old. But there's so many things that really even learning now. And I've been not up for 47. He's been in he has a house that we let one of the kids stay in for 46, and we still learn stuff.
Right, right.
So anything I can learn to help in my home, I am very appreciative.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
And
for
the
coming.
industry is changing, so
It is changing.
it's not as if we could say, you know, you've had it for 46, 47 years, that what happened, you know, 47 years ago is what still applies to today. It is constantly changing. So we, as people, should be always educating, re-educating, re-upping our education on anything concerning finances, anything that is going to affect us. And when you're talking about buying a car, buying a house, doing a home equity loan, anything of that nature, you need to re-up your education about it. And guess whose responsibility it is? It's yours.
Yes.
And don't get upset with the real estate agent or the bank official. Well, why didn't you tell me? Their
Right.
question would be, why didn't you ask? Now, you didn't ask because you didn't know what to ask.
Right.
But they aren't required to disclose everything to you. It's not because they are trying not to tell you. It is just a lot of
It's so
information.
much. It is
and
so much.
if they spent the time to explain everything to you, then they're going to have one customer a day, because it's going to take them all day to explain all the ins and outs of it. So that's why, you know, as Ms. Michelle said, whatever it is that you want to go into, do your research.
Do your research.
Ask people that have already done it.
Yes.
Time out for being afraid,
Being embarrassed.
don't want people to know your business.
Right.
Guess what? We
Yes.
all doing this business.
Right.
We all buying a car, even if you're just renting. You know the contract you got to sign as
a
just
rental?
a renter, just a rent.
Yeah.
So you need to know everything that it says, because it is legally binding. And you cannot say, I watch Judge Judy enough. Sorry, yeah, I like her. You cannot say, I didn't know. Is this your signature?
Yes.
So you signed, but I didn't know. So you didn't read it? You just went on and signed it. So you have the opportunity now to read it beforehand. And if they say, sorry, we don't let you read it beforehand, then you just have to say sorry, then
And walk away.
you won't get my business.
Walk away.
And just walk away. they'll come for you, but just walk away.
They will come back for you. Yes, ma'am.
What I didn't know, I bought 2 homes myself, but when I bought my home, everybody said, make sure you don't get a balloon rate because it'll go up on your mortgage. They said, get it fixed. Okay, I got it fixed, but it went up because taxes go up.
Exactly.
I can talk. Homeowners insurance go up, but I was blind to that because I didn't know.
Didn't
But when
know.
I saw each year, I was like, why is it gone up more and more? And I got a fixed rate, but that was something I was blindsided by. I didn't know that if your tax go up,
That's
your
right.
mortgage, I mean, the homeowners insurance, and we've been in our house to be 25 years out here in Harford County, and the mortgage, I mean, the
It should be
insurance was
shrinking.
$200 and some a year. Now it's $800 within that plan, but I never thought that. So why did they go up? They didn't say that we have a fixed rate. We have a fixed rate. Yeah, but your
Yeah.
taxes went up and your homeowners insurance went up. So
That's
that was
a-
something that I was blindsided.
And that's a very good tips. Thank you, Deaconess Gwen, because it does. Your mortgage is not going to stay the same. Your taxes will go up. Your insurance will go up. But the one tip about insurance, you can shop around. You do not have to stick with the same insurance company that you started with. So always shop around. Any other questions right now? Anybody?
I have another example.
Yes, ma'am.
We bought our home, the home we had built. It was like, because I guess I was dumb. I didn't ask the questions because I didn't know it was a good question. When they were building our house, the guy said, we're just putting out money, more and more added. And he said, well, we'll finish your basement for $10,000. I said, you didn't get no more money from me. But the realtor, she didn't say that was a good deal, that
Right.
you should have got it done at that time.
At that time.
20-some years ago, because you would have never missed it, because it would have been in the mortgage.
It would have been in
And
the
that's
mortgage.
something that I really, because to get a basement by pastor or anybody, you're going to pay. It ain't $10,000. But now I look back, Dad, why didn't she tell me that?
Right,
That
right.
was a good deal. Would have been only an extra $8 more in the mortgage.
Right.
But the basement
Yeah.
still is unfinished, and it's going to be unfinished.
It's going to be.
And that's a really good point, that Deaconess Gwen just made. And guess what? We all experience that now. I'm blessed because my husband can do that kind of work. So he told them, no, we're not going to pay the $10,000 because he can do it. But everybody is not able to do that.
Right.
So again, doing your research and in sharing this information, among the many things that we want you to get from it is, in addition to the many things we want you to get from it, get this, ask people. I mean, buying a mortgage and all that's involved is not new. There are many, many people right now that have the pros and the cons, the good and the bad. They're going to tell you what to do, what not to do, what to run away from, and what to grab hold of. Like, we'll be $10,000 to finish a basement. You're like, good Lord, I'm already paying $230,000. Do you know how long it's going to take me? It's going to take me and my children to pay this off. And you want to add another $10,000 to
Right.
it? And that's what you're thinking. $10,000. Oh my
$10,000
God, what can
is a
I do
lot.
with $10,000? But, well, they adding it into your mortgage, which now just increases your monthly payment. But you have a finished basement, which means it has carpet, it has insulation,
insulation.
and it has your electrical outlets and everything that you need to go down there. And if you want to make it your man cave, that's fine. And if we want to make it our woman cave, that is perfectly fine. But it's all fixed and done. And right. And you don't have to do any extra. But when you say, nah, that's okay. So now 2 years later, and you go down there to do the laundry, and it is freezing cold down there because you have no carpet, no insulation, and it just looked like you walking into a... They gave you insulation, right. But they didn't close it off. Right, they didn't finish it. So, just think of it. And there's stuff that nobody tells you. So
Yes.
just ask.
Yes.
It's okay. I give you my phone number. Whatever
It's
I know
okay to
or
ask.
don't know, I can find it out for you. I'm sure Minister Michelle's the same way.
Right.
But
Yes.
ask people, whether it's your parents, whether it's somebody that work on a job. Everybody has information. Everybody can give you tidbits, a little bit here and a little bit there. but it's to keep you informed so that, like I said, when you go to the bargaining table, they don't put nothing over on you.
And it's also, too, that's what you have a team for, really. You have a lender, and a lot of times we are intimidated by the lender because we think they're running numbers and everything, and we just don't want to ask them what the numbers mean. But ask. Ask your lender, said, okay, if I decide to do the basement, how much more would that be? And like Sister Gwen said, she didn't even, all she saw was the number, and she didn't know that it would only be maybe $8 more a month.
Because it's for 30 years.
Right, and if that had been broke down, explained to her that way, she probably would say, oh yeah, go ahead and do it. See? It's going to triple, right, and things are tripling. There is nothing going back down. Not, I don't think we're going to see 2.5 again.
Never. No, we're not.
I don't think so. It's about 6.75. Some of the new construction builders will buy your interest rate down to 4.9. That's a good rate at this point. It's a good thing. But let me tell you, they just building that cost into your mortgage already. So they're really not giving you anything. But it does help you. And while I'm saying that, when they offer you the $10, $20, $15, $30,000 closing costs, be careful when you go to the design room center, because their purpose to give you that is for you to go to the design center and spend it there. So your mortgage, the base house would be $600,000. You go to the design center to upgrade everything, you done spent $30,000. They're gonna get their money. So you have to really know how to ask the questions. Don't be afraid. Your realtor should talk to you or explain it to you, break it down. And if he or she doesn't, ask the questions. That's my one thing is, I know we all go home and we think about things after we've talked or done something or research, right? And we say, well, I should have said that, or I should have asked that. Ask it. Even if you think about it later that night or the next day, call the person, the bank, the lender, the car place, the mortgage, your doctor, anybody, and ask the question. Don't be afraid to ask the question.
Coming from an old person, television gives you a lot of information. Oh my God. That's why I learned everything from those people who are buying homes. They tell you everything.
Yes.
I didn't even know what homeowners insurance was until he came in a year in the same area which I live. I don't have to pay it. He does. So they're just things that the homeowners insurance. What is
The HOA? Homeowners Association.
association?
Yeah.
Homeowners
Association do.
Association.
A year
Okay.
after me, and that's when it was put on, so our houses are in the same area. I really don't need this, I forgot aloud. But like I said, TV gives you a lot of information for homes, even for cooking and things like that. But you can learn a lot just from watching the TV.
You can.
You can.
Who are buying homes, some people actually, this new thing, flipping houses and all, you learn a lot from that, so for young folks.
Excellent, excellent.
Excellent.
And again, just as you're hearing from each individual talking, the information is out there. And a lot of the information to educate you is free.
It's free.
Now, there are workshops that are available that you have to go and pay for, and I'm not knocking them, but I'm all for anything that's going to provide information to individuals at no cost, because suppose I go to a workshop and I pay $50 and the information that they shared, it was good, but it wasn't for me. I want to know where my $50 is. So when I go and it's free, then I feel better about it. And I feel better because now I can take that free information that I received and not only use it to my benefit, but I would eagerly share it with other individuals because I know that they're going to pay for it. Well, you don't have to pay for it because I can just make you copies of what I got and it's going to be free.
Exactly. Exactly.
Sister Lee mentioned about the
Homeowners Association.
Homeowners Association. Yes, you,
Pros and cons.
pros and cons.
Pros
with,
and cons.
with Homeowners Association.
Pros and cons.
We're still wondering why we're paying it. But pros and cons, you know, I do like the fact that they come get my trash. They clean. Yes, they do come. I haven't had any problems. I probably shouldn't be saying anything because now we'll probably end up having problems. But I haven't had any problems with my trash being collected. I haven't. I like the fact that they come and sort of clean the snow or clean the streets. That's included in my homeowners dues. I like how they do the landscaping. That's included in our homeowners dues. But you have to, in buying a home and wherever you may buy it, that's something that you need to research. As little as it might seem unimportant, it really is important if the grass is 12 inches high and you like, well, when they gonna come cut that grass? And you start making phone calls and they say, oh no, that's on your property line. So you gotta cut that grass. Or when they gonna come and collect the trash? Oh, well, we only collect trash every 2 weeks. Well, what am I paying for? Every 2 weeks. So that's little things that you need to look into. Yes. Because it does add up. We started at about $25 a month and we at $58. So it don't seem like it's a lot, but it adds up.
It adds up.
And there are people that are paying way more than that. So yes, Pastor.
Yes, I just wanted to mention on the Homeowners Association. Yes, we did have a little bit of an issue with the Homeowners Association. However, Homeowners Association are actually beneficial to a degree. I like it when Minister Michelle said pros and cons. And here's the reason. As a homeowner, you don't want your property value to go down.
Correct.
What a Homeowners Association will do, they will make sure that everybody that's in your area, if you have a homeowners association, they will make sure that they are abiding by the rules as far as what they build on their property, how their property looks, because you need to understand when you're in that type of association, the value of your home is based on all the other homes around there.
Correct.
So if someone is allowing their home to go down, they're allowing trees to grow up and just grow wild. When someone comes around, if it's a house for sale, say for instance, you put your home up for sale for say $340,000, and someone comes around and they see trees hanging over into the yard that you want to buy, all right? Or they see a swimming pool that has green water in it, okay? That's going to turn people off. So the Homeowners Association, they ride around.
Yes.
And they make sure that people are upkeeping their homes, which is a benefit to you because now your $340,000 or $350,000 house will sell a lot quicker. When people hear, and I used to be the same way, when people hear Homeowners Association, they're like, oh, or as my grandson would say, oh my God, you know. But really, they are a benefit. And something else you need to know about Homeowners Association. If you do something that you are not supposed to do, like build a deck without getting the approval from the Homeowners Association, or put up a shed without getting the approval of the Homeowners Association, or painting your house without getting approval, and they send you a letter, and you say, I'm not going to worry about that Homeowners Association. I'm not going to take my deck down. I'm not going to take my shed down. What is going to happen is they will fine you. And if you do, and this is very, very, very important, if you do not pay that fine, they will put a lien on your home.
That's right.
So when you go to sell your home,
Right.
and the person that's the realtor or the inspector or whoever, the appraiser, I think it's the appraiser, title company, when they come, they're going to say, you have a lien against this house.
Got to take care of that.
So you cannot even put it on the market until that's taken care of. All right, so just a few things to keep in mind.
Yep. And so our tax lady is not able to make it today, but she did share, she said, make the offer. Anyone wanting to can get a free consultation for 30 minutes on a Monday from 8 to 9 p.m. So anybody here, if you need that consultation or would like it, then just let me know and I'll give you her contact information. So you get free 30 minutes. Everybody's here, so that's a good thing. The one tip that she shared with me that I didn't know about, and I want to share with everybody, is that, did you know that when you purchase in a home, if you haven't purchased a home yet or you're getting ready to purchase a home, and you're thinking about it's down the road, do you know you can save up to $5,000? You put it in a separate account, name that account My Future Home, and you can write that $5,000 off on your taxes.
Wow.
Yes, yeah, every year for 5 years.
That's after you purchase or before?
Before. You can, it's saving, you're saving toward the purchase of your home.
Wow.
So save, start saving. It doesn't have to be 5,000, it can be only 500. But we all know our taxes are going up, and anything we can get to help us write off our taxes, we use. So that's one thing. If you're going to buy a home in the future, save.
Save. Save.
Save.
Before I forget, Sierra just texted me, she's on the live stream, and she said, let them know that be very diligent of the home insurance coverage, and to know that covered limits if they have if a fire happens.
That's a good one.
That's what they're going through.
That's a very good
Yes.
tip. Thank you, Sierra. That's
Yes,
a very
thank you, Sierra, for sharing that. Again,
Yes.
having home insurance, homeowners
Yes.
insurance, insuring your property. And I know that depending on the value of the property, of course it means the higher the value, the higher the insurance. But you are insuring in the event that something happens to the property, to the contents of the property. And many of us may think that's another extra added expense.
It's in my phone.
I can't afford to pay extra money, but look at it this way. If you don't do it, and God forbid something happens, you are not able to afford to get it fixed, repaired, replaced. Trust me, we had our sliding glass door on our patio, and the deductible was like $500. No, $2,500. So we're like, oh, my husband can just go to Home Depot and buy one and put it in. But $2,500? Why we gotta pay that kind of money? You know the first thing we say is, well, don't we have insurance? So there's the pros and cons with the insurance. Right, you know.
Yes.
You do need the insurance. So if you get nothing else from this, get this. When you purchase a home, insurance is involved, and you have to have insurance. Now, some of it, for the most part, is mandatory. So you can't get around it. Your bank is not going to let you get around with it. Number one, don't nobody get upset. It's not yours until it's paid in full.
Yes.
That property belongs to the bank.
Just like your vehicle.
Just like your vehicle, thank you. It belongs to the bank. So they don't want anything happening to their property. So they want you to get insurance to cover fixing their property until it now becomes your property. So, you know, a good tip with Sierra, given that they have had an unfortunate situation with a fire with their home and are working now and have been working for almost a year, more than a year. They're not going back to that house. So it's not ready yet. So they've been working, and that we thank God that nobody got hurt. They all got out.
Yes.
But when we look at what happened, only by the grace of God that they all in that community got out safely, because those houses were standing one minute and the next minute they were leveled to the ground. Nothing existed, but the people were saved. But having insurance helps. It is a fight, it is a battle, because let's just be honest. You pay for the insurance, but they don't expect you to need
They
it.
don't want you to use it.
And they don't want you to use it, and they don't want to pay. So it is a battle, but if you don't have it, you just don't have a leg to stand on. But if you do have it, then you have some
Something,
type of
yep.
comfort or assurance that some parts of what you own is going to be repaired, replaced.
And that's a very good tip also, is that you should review your homeowner's insurance
Good.
at least every year, at least
At
every
least.
2 years, because your property value is going up, and your insurance probably is still down at the value where you first got your homeowner's insurance, and that's where they're gonna keep it at.
Yeah.
If anything happens, that's what they're gonna pay you. And like Sierra said, make sure you have the fire clause in there, have the water clause. A lot of clients have roots that grow in up under and their plumbing. Make sure you have some of that in your clause. It's a little bit more, but trust me, if anything happens, you'd rather have it than not. Any other questions? Starting a business, that Miss Sheila was going to talk about that. We also want to share that. We are both expertise on that also too. And all right, Pastor too. So, you know, we are entrepreneurs here. You have dreams, you have visions, starting your business. You can ask us anything about getting a tax ID, naming your business, how to file it with the state of Maryland. And you don't have to go and pay nobody $3,000 to
Right.
start your own business.
Before you go into that, what is home equity loan? I mean, it's in the back of my mind, but how did, okay, you have to be in your home or something at the time, or how does that work? Home equity loans, how does that work? You've been in your home for years, and they say, I want something fixed, and I don't have the money. I mean, is that what it's for? I don't know.
All right, I can give you basic information on that. The home equity, this is a loan using the equity or the value that's in your home. Compared to, I don't know if that's a good word to use, what you owe. So let's say that the value of your home, and that's why Minister Michelle said it's important that you stay up on making sure that whatever city, county, state that you're in, that they are reassessing the value of your property. And if you do any upkeep in it, so if you had an unfinished basement and you got a finished basement, the value of your property has changed. If you are able to put in an in-ground pool, I know, husband, don't say anything. The value of your property has changed. So now you know the value of your property, but you look at what you owe the bank. So that equity is what that difference is and what you owe. So the value of your property could be $350,000, but my mortgage that I have left is $190,000. I got that. Whatever it is, I'm not good at math, that's why I got the little cap. But whatever that difference is in between the two, that's your equity. So now you can go to a bank and say, I want to make a home equity loan, and they're using that difference, that gap in between, that they're making that loan for you. Now, yes, it does mean that you do have two loans.
Right, you do have
You
two
have
loans.
two loans. You still got your mortgage, and now you have the home equity loan that you're
Correct.
paying.
Correct.
It has nothing to do with your mortgage. It can be with the same lender if they do offer that product. In most cases, people are, we're really savvy now concerning interest rates, so we're going to shop for the best rate, and the best rate may not be with your existing lender. It very well could be with someone else, but I'm getting that, and my purpose of getting that home equity loan could be a number of things. In most people's cases, it could be to pay down debt, pay off credit cards. It could be to get some work done in the home. Maybe I want to get my basement refinished, or I got to get all new appliances, or my heating system has gone up, or whatever it is that you might want to use it for, that's what you would use it for. But they are, in fact, two different loans. Home equity can be two different ways. It can be a straight out home equity. It can be a home equity line of credit, which means straight out home equity, if it's $78,000 that I get, they just giving me the $78,000 check,
Correct.
and I'm just paying it off. If it's a home equity line of credit, they are giving me a line of credit that now I can use it like it's a credit card. I can have a $78,000 line of credit, but I only need $30,000 today. So today I take out the 30,000 and get done what I want done. I may not do any more work for another 8 months. Now I'm going back and I'm getting more off of that. That home equity line of credit is not indefinite. It is going to be set for a certain time frame that you need to advance the money off of it, and then you need to start paying it back.
So
But
it's like your money, but you paying it back.
it's your money because they're using the value of your home to lend that to you. It's their money, but it's the value of their home that they're using as the collateral. So now they're going to lend it.
Paid for, then you have no equity no more, 'cause you didn't.
Well, you do still have the
do have
equity,
equity.
because once you pay it off, so let's say the equity amount is $78,000, and they give me a $78,000 loan, and it could take you 10 years. You look at it, I'm still going to be in this house for another 25, 30 years, so I don't mind getting a 10-year line of credit, because in 10 years, I'm still going to be here, and that's paid off. But all my other debts that I use that money for wisely, I didn't go and yeah,
And
just
bought a Range Rover.
right. I'm just gonna say I used it wisely to do what I needed to do to help me financially, because that's what it's really doing. If I'm going to use it to consolidate all my credit cards, and now I've paid off all my credit cards. Somebody hear this? I've paid off all my credit cards, and I don't owe on them credit cards. Now that extra money I was paying on the credit cards, I can now pay on the mortgage and the home equity, get it paid. When that home equity is now paid off, guess what? I don't have no credit cards because I didn't go out and create any new ones.
Your voice got louder, who you talking to?
People hear me. Whether it's in here or it's right there.
need the mic.
I want to make sure that you heard that you aren't creating the new debt, because if you aren't careful, at the end of the 10 years, the home equity is paid off, and you still have that equity in your home, but the credit cards are still there. Make sense? So again, it is 2 different loans. It is using the value in your home. And yes, if you don't pay the home equity loan,
They'll take you home.
the home is collateral. So don't say, well, I got a mortgage. You got a mortgage and you got a home equity. So
Yep.
guess who's going to be fighting?
That's
The
it.
bank that owns the mortgage and the home equity. But they fighting against each other because somebody taking that house from you.
Yeah. Whoever has the first position,
First position, that's the bank with the mortgage.
whoever has the first position will be. That's like, right. 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 And then they become the first position.
Yes.
And so then they can go and file and take the house.
So that, again, that's why it's important to do your research. Second mortgages, reverse mortgages.
Yes.
It's all out there, and it all sounds good.
It's to do the same thing like a home equity line. It's just worded.
To word it, right.
The worded. a
So
little
I took
different.
out a second mortgage. It's just the wording. The
It's-
banks, the lenders, they all have their wording to. That's a good word. To trick you.
Or to confuse you or to make you thinking. Refinance is
No.
a total different thing. Refinance
Right.
is refinancing your original mortgage and maybe hopefully dropping it down to a lower interest rate.
Refinance will pay them off and they take it more.
They when you refinance, so let's say if I made my mortgage with Bank A, and 15 years from now, the interest rate goes down. I don't know what the interest rate is going to do, guys, so don't take that as gospel. But 15 years from now, the interest rates are lower than what I got with Bank A at 6.75%. So now they're running around 4%, maybe, prayerfully. But let's just say that. So now I'm going to go and I want to refinance my mortgage with this company, this bank, because the interest rate is lower. So that's the purpose of refinancing, should be, because I'm getting a lower interest rate. The rate should be at least 1%, a whole 1%, for you to even think about doing it. Anything under that, just blow it away and say, oh, won't be doing that. I'm just going to keep on doing what I'm doing. But if it is low enough, then you go and refinance. That means after, it's almost like doing the mortgage new, your first time, because now Bank B buys this mortgage from Bank A and pays it off. Bank A is out of the picture. Bank B now becomes the person that's owning your mortgage.
So in most cases, the mortgage is cheaper.
In most cases,
And-
but you do have to watch, as Sister Sheila said, Teresa, I'm sorry, said, you're gonna have to watch what's included in that clause.
You gotta read it, because there's gonna be fees included in refinancing. They don't do it for free. And most of the time, those fees are gonna, and also too, they're gonna include an appraisal. They're gonna do another appraisal. They're gonna hit you for that. And the fees, the admin fees and the title fee, because they're gonna give you a whole new title and everything, all those fees. So basically, the same fees you paid at first, you're paying again. Now, and also too, like Pastor said, if you don't drop a 1% lower, don't do it. And also, if you don't plan on being in your home or keeping it for 5 years,
Don't do it.
don't do it, because those fees are gonna be not worth paying if you're gonna just refinance and then sell the house in a year, because your balance goes up because they added those fees on top of it. Everybody get it? So make sure if you're thinking about refinancing that you're gonna stay in the house for at least 5 years, and you can talk to your lender and have them run the numbers for you. That's why we say talk, ask questions, because he or she will run the numbers for you before you even do it, so you can see and have the knowledge. Is it worth me refinancing it? Yep, I'm dropping from 5% down to 3%, which would drop my mortgage down. But what about the fees that's going to be included in that? Is it going to be worth it?
And another thing to add to that is, you know what you can afford. Don't let anybody talk you into what they think you can afford. Interest rates will kill you.
Yeah.
Because there's
Yeah.
so many different variations with the interest rate and how they give it to you, whether it's a fixed rate, whether it's an adjustable rate,
Yes.
whether it's a balloon rate.
Yes.
It's so many different ways out there to get you into the house.
Yes.
But once they get you into the house, don't take this the wrong way, they done with you. They gone.
They're gone.
They gone
They're
to the
gone.
next, I don't want to say victim, but they gone to the next
It's just-
person.
they're gone.
So you have to be careful. Do your homework. If you know, as much as Siri gets on my nerves, because she knows everything, just ask her. I got you. I see your hand. Just ask her. She's going to tell you. So what is the best way, whether it's fixed rate, adjustable rate, balloon rate, 0%, that's not real, just so you know. I know I'm going off topic, but this is with anything. 0% doesn't exist. Stop letting it trick you.
Credit cards,
Stop letting it trick you.
vehicles,
Yes.
homes.
Somewhere
Yachts.
down the line, you have paid for that 0%. So do your homework, do your research, and find out what's the best direction you need to go, because you stuck in it for 30 years or until you refinance. And if you refinance, then you might, depending on how you refinance, you're stuck in it for another 30 years. You starting over. We did that.
You starting over.
If I had to go back, I wouldn't have done it that way.
We did it early.
But we did do that. We had no plan of moving. That my daughter says that's her house anyway. So when we do leave, it's her house. But that's just to understand that. Yes, with the person that had the hand up in the back.
That would be me. Actually, I am sort of working as a moderator. So someone put up a question,
Okay.
and the question is about credit card debt. It said, can you touch on the best method to pay off credit card debts regardless of the balance. And I just want to mention this to everyone also. If you do have a question, put your hand up and give our runner an opportunity to get to you with the microphone, because the questions that you ask, they are going to be going live. Someone else on the live may want to hear an answer to that same question. So
Yes.
again, can you touch on the best method to pay off credit cards regardless of the balance? Thank you.
Wow. First, let me say, well, yeah.
Yeah, hit the
That
lottery.
is the best method. And if you didn't hear that, the response from the audience was,
Someone said
come into some money. I don't claim to be an expert. I've learned down through the years the pros and the cons of having a credit card and the advantages and disadvantages of paying it off and not paying it off. They can work for you and they can work against you. As far as the best method of paying it off, I don't have a best method, but I will tell you it is important that you pay.
Amen.
You made the agreement. You signed the contract. So you have to pay it. Now, as far as do I pay the highest balance off first and don't worry about the little guys, and when I get the highest one paid off, then I'll go pay on the little guys? Or do I pay the little balances first, and when I get them paid off, then I work my way on the higher balance? What direction you take is totally up to you. But if nothing else, I would say it is important that you make the arrangement to pay it off. And if something is happening financially in your world at that time, make the phone call. I came from banking, and there's so many times that I recall saying to people, if you had just called us, told us what was going on, to see if there's anything we can do. We had done moratoriums where you don't make a payment for 90 days or you don't pay interest for 90 days. But if you don't call us and tell us what's going on, you're making me only assume one thing. You are not paying me back, so I'm coming for you. Pay it back. Pay something on it. Call, hey, I lost my job or whatever. I lost my hours of working. Whatever it is, you have to be upfront and honest with what's going on. Some of them will work with you and some will not. It's okay, but you can't ignore it. So, what best practice, I can't say what worked. For me personally, I have tried both angles. I honestly can't see where one, when we were really stuck in credit card debt, that one worked better than the other. My best practice is pay what I owe. If I can pay a little bit more, then I do everything I can on each one of them, if I can afford it, to pay a little bit more each month. And if I can't afford to pay it on all of them, I'm going to pick the one that has the most ridiculous highest interest rate and pay a little bit more on that. If you're going to pay off the little balances, pay them off. Use whatever you've been paying to pay on the higher balances.
To get it down.
But I'm going to say this again. Don't create the balances again. If you're trying to get out of debt and you pay it off, cut the card up, call the company, tell them to close it out.
Now, Pastor, do you really want to close it out?
Okay. Depending on how long that's a good question. Depending on how long you have had the credit card, you may not want to close it out. See, this is a person, because that is going to be held against you. Just letting you know. He done all of that.
All of them.
It can be against you. Depending on where you are with your credit and your finances, you're going to have to decide, do I really care that it's against me? Because, put it this way, and then I'm going to let Minister William talk. If you already have your mortgage and you don't plan on getting another one, that's what you got to kind of look at. If I already got my mortgage and I've been in my house for 10 years and I'm going to be in there for another 200 years, I'm not really worrying about that $200 credit card because it's not going to affect me. I'm not saying that it's okay. I'm just telling you how it works.
And it will drop for a little bit, but then it'll raise back up.
Right.
I'll be real quick. About what you're saying, cutting the credit card up and doing away with it. I personally wouldn't suggest that because what that does is it affects, you may think because you don't have self-control to not spend on it, but cutting it up may keep you from spending on that card, and you call it, no, I'll put it this way, cutting it up is no problem, because that way you'll never use it again. But canceling it, calling and canceling the card, they're gonna be like, why you wanna do that? Well, I just don't want a credit card no more. Okay, you cancel that card, now that lowers your credit.
But sometimes they kick you out anyway. If you haven't used it, I got a lot of cards I haven't used, they'll close it out.
Yeah, and then once they close
Once they close it out,
close your account,
they can close it.
it lowers your credit. It could give you bad credit at that point, and you thinking you have good credit, but closing an account affects your credit ratio, your utilization ratio, and closing that account. For instance, if you have 5 cards, and your credit utilization over those 5 cards and individually was 30%, which is what they suggest. You don't go over the 30% ratio. Now, if you close out a card, now you only have 4 cards making up that ratio, which automatically puts you up way above 30%, which drops your credit even further. So
It is crazy.
so having credit is not bad. It's just that we just have to
Use
learn
it, to use
how
it.
to
To our
effectively
advantage.
use the credit
To
to your
effectively,
advantage.
right.
The credit card companies are hoping that you don't use it properly.
That's exactly right. They making money off of you.
Yeah, because they don't care if you have it for the next 100 years.
Right.
You pay the minimum payment, you'll just be paying on that for the next 100 years.
Yep.
But if you can make $2 more, if you can make a payment of $2 more than the minimum payment, eventually that's going to improve your credit. I'm not going to say it's going to be overnight or in a month
Right.
or something, but anytime that you can allocate, if you say, I'm not going to get Starbucks coffee Christina, I'm not going to get Starbucks coffee every day.
I'm going to use that to
for
pay
this
all the debt.
month. I'm going to use that extra money to pay towards credit card B. Out of your 5 cards, I'm going to use it to pay extra payment on this card. Eventually, that will start to benefit you, and then they'll be like, oh, Mr. Timmy, we just looked over your account and we decided to raise your account
That's what they would
by
do.
$1,000
Yep.
now. Because now they see you as being responsible. Whereas before your account was at $250, and they'll just let you ride with that $250 because you keep spending the $250.
Right.
You spending it, but you're not paying it off.
And just because they raise your credit limit, don't spend to it. Don't spend that money. Don't spend that money. Your credit limit's $250 and they raise it to $500. Don't spend it. Stay within your $250. And you should be paying. Our goal is to pay our credit cards off at the end of every month before your cycle. So if you are charging more than what you can pay at the end of 30 days, you're charging way too much. You're living beyond your means. So for us, and I'm starting to learn how to do this, and I didn't know, but it can wrap you up. It can get you caught up. That Uber and food can get you caught up in some debt. So there's some things we need to be responsible for and take accountable for our own selves.
Yes.
We don't need to Uber that food. We just need to go to the grocery store, make our groceries, as the old folks said, make groceries. Buy
Make market.
Buy your stuff, store it in your house, and even if you just do it week by week. But stop, you know what you're spending. And as everyone has said, it's up to you how whatever best way works for you. I've done them both also. But I have credit cards that I'm working on paying my debts down. So I took what I did was I took the lowest one. I pay each one their minimum every month, but to the lowest one I pay extra to pay it off. Now I got one paid off. Now I'm going to the next one, I pay a little bit extra. Taking that I had was paying to the other one, and keep going until you get it paid off. Some people, now I just heard a man say you should pay the one with the highest interest off first. It's up to you. You do what works best for you, because we don't know your finances. We don't know how your income is looking. We don't know what your expenses are, your monthly expenses. So you write it down. That's the best thing to do. That's the number one thing to do, is because a lot of times we don't know. We just got it in our head. But when we actually write it on paper, Costco Visa, this is how much my monthly payment is. This is how much my interest is. Sears or Macy's, this is how much my monthly payment, this is my balance, this is my interest, this is how much my monthly payment is. Amazon, this is my balance, this is my monthly payment, this is how much my interest is. And when you look at it, you can judge it better, and you can make a plan better. Write the vision, make it plain.
It also, Minister Michelle, and everyone that's talking to y'all can't see me because I'm back here, sorry. But what everyone's talking about, especially what Minister Michelle just mentioned, it deals with good budgeting principles. You have to make, and we are people who do not budget.
We don't.
A lot of individuals, especially younger individuals, and I learned this as well, do not create a household budget. What is a household budget? You have to, as Minister Michelle said, write down your information. You want to write down your income for the month. You want to write down your expenses for the month. And when I say write down your expenses, don't fudge on it. You know, don't write something down that's not realistic, or don't write, one of your expenses, cut it in half, say, well, I'll pay this much. No, you have to be realistic with your budgeting principles. Write down your income, write down your budget,
Yes.
I'm going to tell you your income, your expenses.
Yes.
At the end, you will see what the difference is. And Minister Michelle, you just mentioned this. You can put yourself underwater, because if your expenses exceed your income,
Yes.
you will go into debt.
Yes.
It's just a real, and when you go to buy a house, they ask you for that information.
They do.
They ask you for your income and your
expenses.
expenses, and they will compare those numbers. And if your expenses exceed your income, you will not get that loan, whether it's for a house, whether it's for a car. If you're trying to rent a pair of shoes, you may not be able to get that either. But anyway,
Even
it's
for rentals.
really, really, really good
Yeah.
budgeting principles.
Yes.
And young people do not understand
Yes.
that you have to have some kind of visual of what you are spending. You cannot just go out and spend. I agree. You get one credit card, but get one that's manageable.
Yes.
I think one of the greatest ones you can get is American Express. Because I believe
No, they've changed. They don't.
No,
do that.
no, here's- listen
They
to
don't
what
have
I'm
that
saying.
kind where you got to pay the balance off at the end of the month. anymore.
exactly
If
that's
you pay
what
the
I'm talking
balance
about.
off, because
That-
the
that's the
interest
type
on
that
the
I'm talking
American
about.
Express is high.
The ones that you have to pay off by the end of the month.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe
Very-
I got in trouble when I said American Express, but I was thinking along the line of
You have to
one
pay
that
it
you
off.
have to pay the
Right,
balance off by the end of the month, because credit cards will help you establish
They
credit,
do.
especially when you're young.
But I also say,
I'm sorry, I'm finished.
I also share, if you're gonna get your credit card, get one that gives you rewards also.
Good point, good point.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
you
let's see.
spending the money, you might as well get some kind of
Something
bonus.
back, right.
Get something.
And live by this. Live by this. Romans chapter 3, verse number 8. Owe no man anything
Yes.
but to love one another, for he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law. If you have a debt, if you owe somebody something, pay them. Don't say, I made the debt, I ain't worth. Don't run away from your creditors.
Oh my goodness.
When they call, don't just hang up the phone or don't just block the number, or, pay your debt. Maybe I'm speaking to me too. Anyway, y'all go ahead.
Timmy? Wait, Timmy.
No, Timmy.
Timmy first, then you.
So when getting a credit card, what would be a good age to do it? So for me, example, right? I'm somebody in school and I'm 20. So should I be looking at to get a credit card when I'm still in school and not really working stably? Or should I wait until when I'm out of college and have an actual stable job so I'll be able to pay that off?
Well, I believe you answered that, but Minister Williams said he want to.
He
Go
wanna-
ahead, Minister
Go
Williams.
ahead, he want to answer it. He want to answer it.
I'm gonna say this. I think the problem has been that we've been, I'll put it on me. I'm not gonna say we. I'll say me. Growing up, I always heard that credit was bad. And then when I became an adult, I realized I had no credit. But there were some people that had credit when they were young. And now when they're an adult, they have excellent credit.
Excellent credit, yes.
So I would say get a card, even if you buy a candy bar on it. Buy the candy bar and pay it off.
Exactly.
That's how you build credit. That's how you become 600, 700, 800, 850. It's that simple. It really is that simple. Credit is not complicated. We make it complicated by making people fear credit. Like my dad was like, oh, credit card, I just pay cash with it. Okay, if you have the money to pay cash for it, you can buy it on credit, pay it off. It
Pay it
builds
off.
your credit.
Yes.
Use the system to your
It's
advantage.
going with you. You may not need the credit right now. You may not need it when you're 30. You may not need it when you're 40, when you're 50. At least it will be there. You don't have to wait till you're 50 and then they tell you, well, sir, you don't have any credit.
Right? That's right.
So you can get the card just
Can you handle the card? Are
Yeah,
you
that's what
are
I
you
said.
mentally ready to handle the card? You have to be honest. You don't have to tell us, but it's something you have to ask yourself. After hearing what we've talked about, are you mentally ready to handle the credit card?
But don't a credit card ask where you work at, what's your income for the year? Or what?
Some do and
Sometimes, some
yeah.
don't. Because there's so many nowadays, like Chime and all of
Mm-hmm.
that, they giving credit cards to the young people to get them in debt.
And he's in college, so they are going after the
After them.
college
They are.
students quick, and will easily give. One time I was in a presentation, and I'm gonna let Sister Lee speak, and he said, "I'm not understanding. Why wouldn't you just give them $500 credit card? I mean, $500. What is that gonna hurt?" So just think about it. You give them at that age a $500 credit card, and as Minister Williams say, and they pay on it. And then years and years go, and their limit goes up, and guess what? They formed that habit, good habit, of paying it, because that's in their mind now. If I keep paying it, it just keeps working for me. So why would you not give it to them and let them keep paying on it? And as Minister Williams said, now 10, 15 years down the line, and you ready to go buy a house, and they pull it up and say, oh my God, ooh, you've been paying on this for, you don't have credit this long? They now want to figure out, How are you able to do that? Because it's what they're going to be looking at is we not sure how he's able to pay it, but it's always getting paid and it's never late. So at that point, you can write your own story. They might not even ask you proof of income because they don't care. All they want to know is your credit worthiness. Do you have the ability to pay, and do you have the willingness to pay? That's all they want to know. And at that point, you can almost get, yes, you can almost get whatever you want. So as Minister Michelle said, we can't tell you that. That's a decision that you make. But weigh the pros and cons. Is it better for me to get it now when I'm 20? Or do I wait until I'm 25 or 30? You're going to have to weigh those decisions, get all of your information, and put it all side by side. If I get it when I'm 20, get it when I'm 25, get it when I'm 30, what's the advantage? How's it going to work for me?
What's
Minister
your
Williams
objection?
said, right, credit is good.
Credit is good.
People have made it appear to be bad,
like he said,
because they don't pay it.
Right.
That's the only thing. That's the only reason that people have made it out to be the bad guy.
Right.
They didn't. The credit. I can't believe they calling me. They calling my mama and my mama's mama. They sending me all these notices. Well, why? Well, because I didn't pay it. Hello. So now it becomes a bad thing, and you mad with all of them. But they gave it to you when you asked for it, and they just wanted you to pay it. So you pay it, and like Minister Michelle said, then I'm gonna go this way. Work the system. Don't let the system work you.
Don't let it work you.
You work them to the degree that now they're like, Mr. Timmy, we're giving you a $10,000 increase. You still gotta be careful with that, but they're gonna give it to you because they can see that you are trustworthy with their money, and you show that willingness. They don't know how you paying it, but you're paying it. And that's what's important.
That's the situation I have with Kimmy. You don't know my daughter. She was always saving her little pennies, and I tell her, get your credit card, build up your
credit.
Until she got me to think about getting a house. And she said, Ma, they don't even want to listen. I said, Kimmy, credit cards help you if you get them and you pay them. I know because I did it. And pay them on time, it builds your credit up. Now her credit is up so well. She can get a house now because she has excellent credit.
Wonderful.
So I think it's something, if you know you're going to pay those credit bills, get it because it will build that credit up for you. But if you kind of like, I don't know, I think I'd rather go to the dance this weekend than I pay this card.
Right.
Maybe you better think about it.
That's a good point, Sister Lee. I like that.
Yes.
Like that. If you think you're going to put something else before paying the credit card payment, then don't do it yet. Wait till you mature a little bit more.
Yes, I have a question. Again, I filed bankruptcy probably over 15 years ago. Can I buy another house?
Yeah.
Is it going to be a problem?
No. Let's go.
Real estate agent right here.
Come on, let's go.
You in-house.
But the other question is, because when I talked to my lender, they said it's not showing, my mortgage payment is not showing on my credit, but I pay on time every month. So how can I get it back on my credit to show?
Need to call your lender and ask them that. Why isn't it showing on my credit?
They told me I need to do it.
You need to do.
Because
Your
I need
lender
to
told
find
you
out
that.
how I can get my mortgage payments to show on my credit again.
So you own a house now, and you're making payments on it,
Yes, every month on time.
but they not reporting it to the credit bureau.
Because it's not shown on the credit.
Women, but I'm
I know
confused.
I didn't know either until they told me.
Until who told you?
They not reporting it.
Why
showing
aren't
up.
they reporting it?
I don't see it on there.
You don't see it on your Experian, you don't see it showing
You've
up.
gotten a copy of all three of the credit reports.
Right.
You can
Check
get
all
one.
three.
You can get one every 4 months. You can only get one a year. So if you go to Experian, then 4 months from now, go to TransUnion,
Yep.
and then 4 months from then, go to Equifax. So in essence, you've only gotten a copy of your credit report once a year, but from all 3 credit bureaus. Now you can compare them and see what's on there. If in fact your mortgage is not on there, I would go through the mortgage company and through the bank to find out why they are not reporting. It is to your disadvantage.
Right.
So why are they not reporting a mortgage?
Right. And
on
they're
your
supposed to report
Yeah,
it.
they're supposed to.
They have to report it, not you.
Not you.
Not
Because if
you.
that's the case, if I can report, then I want to unreport.
Exactly.
Take it all off. That's what I want to
Or
do.
I'm going to report all my payments on time.
All my
Even when I'm
payments on
late.
time, my balances have been paid off.
Exactly. I'm
Yeah.
zero, so, no, they have to.
Was it included in the bankruptcy?
No, well, it does say bankruptcy, when I call, what do they say? They say a little statement about bankruptcy.
Has your bankruptcy been charged off? Are you clear?
Yes,
Totally
yes.
clear. Okay.
Yeah, I did
Probably
chapter
need to
7.
send them the paperwork.
I don't even know where it's at.
You can probably get through the bankruptcy court, but you probably do need to send that to them because they probably have chosen to not do that. So you gotta, that's what they're saying, you gotta take that responsibility and send them the documentation that everything is done, and so that they can start reporting it again. They're not gonna report it because it's to their advantage. It's, yeah. This is what we mean by you have to be your best defender for yourself. Do not rely on the lender, the credit union, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. Don't.
Even the realtor, to do the work for you. Ask questions. And don't be shy like I was. Don't. Ask the questions. And no, my mom always said, there is no stupid question.
That's right. The stupid one is the one you don't ask.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Go ahead, Christina.
On the credit report.
Uh-huh.
I know this is probably like a crazy question.
You must have turned the microphone down because we can't hear you. Yeah, there you go.
When you're looking at your credit reports, I know what we should be looking for, but what should be like red flags for us when we're looking at things to know like, okay, I need to dispute this, or I really need to look deeper into this? When I look at it, I'm just like, okay, these are a couple collection things. Oh, there's my student loans, and then I'm kind of done with it. I don't really look really deep into it to be able to say that everything is 100%.
So you should check and make sure everything is true, number one. If you have collections, late payments, credit that's not yours, your name is on the bottom, they have somebody else's name on there, it's not yours, you need to dispute those things. If your collections have been paid, make sure it's marked paid. If you have charge-offs, it should be also marked paid or charged off, or
It's not going to be marked paid.
It
It's
won't
just
be
it'll just be marked charged
charged
off.
off. You-
But after a certain amount of time, and I don't know the exact time frame, but you can demand that they be removed.
Yes.
See, they not going to do the
They're
work
not
for
gonna
you.
do it for you.
They will leave it out there for eternity
Yes.
until you say, that's not mine, that's been paid, it's been 10 years, that should be gone. If you don't say anything, they will leave it
They
on
will
your
leave
credit.
it on there.
It's not to their advantage to take it off.
And do you know why it's
So-
not to their advantage? It's when you go get credit, they can charge you more because your score is lower. The higher your score is, the less you pay for borrowing money. So it's to their advantage to keep the bad marks on your credit report, because they're going to make money off of you. My sister says, if you know somebody got a gun to your head, why give them the bullets? And we do that every day. That's why we're here. That's why we're so glad you guys came out. We're so glad those are watching us and joining us, because we really want to share this knowledge with people. And because we love people.
Right, yeah.
We want to see y'all do better. We want us to do better. Shiloh came. I have to say hi to Shiloh.
Hello,
Shiloh is a young man that I met at the auto repair shop at 5 Star. Became one of my. He reminds me of Mark. Doesn't he look like Mark? Doesn't he look like my son Mark,
He
y'all?
does look like Mark, yes.
But Shiloh is in security, cybersecurity, and I asked him to maybe just give a couple of words about cybersecurity, and just like what you have to also, because with credit, you need to be watching your credit because everybody's out there. Well, not everybody, but there's a lot of fraud. There's a lot of cybersecurity tips that maybe he can give us to keep ourselves safe. Come on, Shiloh.
Can I ask him a question when he's finished?
Can you bring the microphone up to Shiloh, please?
Okay.
Hello, everybody. My name is Shiloh, Shiloh Cumber. So, yes, I am in cybersecurity. So, I actually started off doing cybersecurity when I was a little bit younger. My stepdad was in my life, and I started tinkering with computers and trying to fix up gaming consoles here and there. And I always wanted to bring peace to the world. So I first started off saying, I'm going to be a lawyer. I went to Morgan doing philosophy, pre-law, and entrepreneurship, and went to working for the state. During that time, I kind of had a realization like I did have kind of a passion for cybersecurity, networking, and anything that has to do with technology. So I went back and I went to CCBC for cybersecurity. What I will say is relearning cybersecurity all over again from, when I was that little boy in high school. I will say that I learned that the basis of cybersecurity is just making sure that you're secure. And it doesn't even mean like in your computer, just in your own life, right? Are you maintaining your passwords, right? The enemy wants to kind of interject themselves in every little sense of the word. Do you lock your door when you leave your house? The answer is yes, hopefully. So in that sense, the same thing. If you have a computer, you probably have private things that you guys want to protect, whether that may be checks, credit card information, whether that be, your home information. Make sure those things are locked. You want to make sure that you're always being secure. You have your information in places that people can't easily access. And I think that's what people typically forget, right? When we think of like cybersecurity, we think about this big thing like, oh my goodness, everybody's just coming after me. It's the simple things, right? You lock the door when you leave the house. Close your laptop before you leave the house, right? Make sure you have a lock on your phone, right? Make sure you're not just logging on to anyone's Wi-Fi when you're out in a cafe shop or a Starbucks, right? Because you never know where that Wi-Fi is coming from. So I think the little thing that I can give about cybersecurity is just do the simple things like take care of yourself in any little way. Make sure that you're having some type of security on your information, and make sure that not everybody has access to that, right? You don't give everybody access to your house, so don't give everybody access to your phone, whether it's nieces, nephews, sons or daughters, not everybody should have access to those private things. Sometimes things are best kept just that, private. So that's about it.
Awesome. Thank you. Sister Leah has a question.
I had a very terrible scare about it. I told William about it, I think. I got a call from down in Houston, Texas. I have no family down there. And somebody was trying to get a big credit amount of money off my credit card. And they had the last 4 numbers of my Social Security. So they told me to call this place and fill out an application. So I'm saying, why should I fill out an application if somebody's got my last 4 numbers? Anyway, I went through a whole bunch of stuff that somebody told me something called the dark side of the computer or something.
The dark web.
Web or something. So, is that true? That they actually got my last 4 numbers?
I mean, so you can, if I'm not mistaken, you can also get a new Social Security number as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yes.
Yes.
if it's been fraudulent, and yes, you can apply for
Well,
a
I
lien.
have a company now that I pay to secure everything, and anything over 200, I told them, make sure they call me. So, but that was very strange.
Life check, life.
Life check, life lock.
I paid because in all of the, a couple of times we've been at things that.
Don't let them take advantage and give you the check.
Yeah, but it's only, like $10 a month, that's all. Because we don't know anything about computers, all we know is the cutter wanna play the game, just cut them back off. Like, I don't have any of my bills and things on the computer, cause I know we go right in and probably steal it. But, my credit union had a problem where they had broken in and got our
Yes,
information.
yes,
They paid for 2 years
Yes.
for me for my
Yes.
security and my husband. Then I
Yes.
had another, company that we had the same thing. They put us on 2 years, so after that, I decided I'm gonna pay my own money to make sure. Cause you know, the few little dollars you have for your grandkids and all
Right.
that little money you have for emergency, it will frighten me to lose all of it after all of these years. So, but I didn't, but this place called the Dark Side, that's what the young folks was selling. The dark side of what?
The dark
The
web.
dark web.
Oh,
The dark web.
oh, the dark web.
It's been around for a long time, but just the simple things, your name, your first name, your last name, your birthday, all those things are always out there, because you're imagining how many different times am I inputting that into a website, or how many times am I writing that down on a piece of paper, right? Your information kind of goes around multiple places. And in that sense, right, when we're going on random websites, you just have to make sure, is it a secure website, is it a trusted website, right? And those things matter, because sometimes we'll go off to, say if someone wants to watch like a movie and they don't want to have to pay for that movie, they might go on something called like Foot Locker, right? And it's free, of course, right? And it makes us feel good. Oh, we can watch the latest movie and it's out. Little do you know, they're selling your information, they're selling your information. So they might not, you might not pay them with money monetarily, but they're selling your information, your last name, your first name, your email, and that's kind of how they make that type of money through
That's a
advertisements.
good tip. That's a good tip, Sean.
Okay.
That's a good tip, because a lot of us go on the websites and they ask for our emails, and they're free, or get a movie and they say they're free, but they're making money some kind of way. So they're selling our information, and that's how they're making money. That's a good one. And also too, I've heard that, and being at volunteering at the credit union, watch where you put your credit cards at. They got these little skimmers that you go to the gas station or gas pump and put it in there. They can get your information that way.
Yeah.
And so even by just tapping, they can get your information now.
Yeah.
Because of the Wi-Fi. Like he said, you don't know who has that Wi-Fi or connected to it or skimming from that Wi-Fi. So you even have to be careful there. I don't buy any gas at the pump. If I have my credit card, I go inside. I hate to walk inside, but I just say I'm getting exercise.
Right.
So I don't buy any gas at the pump.
And if you
Go
can,
inside.
with the gas thing, if you can get, if where you get your gas, they have a gas card. Like I go to Royal Farm. I like Royal Farm. But I have the ROFO card. So now when I go to get gas, I'm not
You're not
using
putting your
my debit card.
debit card.
I'm using the ROFO card, which is connected to my debit card, but it don't have any other information. So if that would get lost or what have you, all I can do is same thing with a credit card, but I just call and cancel that. But I'm not worrying about carrying around my actual tap and paying with my credit card. So we're gonna go back to you, Pastor. But with everything in this day and time, we just have to be vigilant about what we're using and where we're using it. If I'm going to the gas pump, I'm being vigilant. If I'm going inside Walmart to tap and pay, I'm being vigilant. If I'm going online and doing something, I'm being vigilant. And it is my responsibility to check my account regularly. Don't wait till the end of the month and now I'm going to check my bank statement and see, yes, I did, I got some chicken from Redner's, and yes, I did. Did I get gas twice that week? That must have been a busy week. You don't even know. So check it regularly so you will know what charges are yours, and if you see something that's not yours, call immediately. You might be in a panic, and it could end up being you just forgot. You know, I got old Alzheimer's, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes I have a memory lapse and I forget, but for the most part, Glenda knows exactly what she spent, where she spent it, and how much she spent. So if anything pops up that don't, right, Christina? If something pop up that don't click, I might be in panic mode, but I'm making some phone calls real quick. And I'm like, oh, you're going to, not me, block the call, send me the paperwork. Are you sure? I'm absolutely sure. I can tell you, like with Target. Last time I was in Target was a year ago. I bought an iron. I know exactly what it costs and the type of iron. All that other stuff, he said, oh, ma'am, you know your stuff. Right, take it all off because it's not me.
All right, real quick. Minister Michelle, your daughter is on.
Hey, Melina!
She is in law enforcement, and she has been posting. I'm just going to read a couple of things that she said. One was, we get these reports all the time. This is about scammers. And then one about the dark web, and I'm sure that Shiloh has heard about the dark web being in cybersecurity. And they said the scammers will target older people always.
Yes.
So what they need to do is hang up the phone and call your bank, all right, where your card is. And even with the tap and pay, you don't even have to take your card out of your wallet. They can get it when you walk past the scammers.
They
okay.
can. Yep.
Another thing you have to be very, very aware of. This is one of those things that, well, two things. First of all, with elderly people, they play on your heart.
Yes.
They will call and they'll act like they're a grandchild, and or your grandchild is in jail, and and they will say, please send me this or send me this, and they'll ask you questions about it, and they'll say, well, how can I send the money? They will actually tell you to go get $500 in credit cards.
Right.
And you can read
They'll
the
stay
number
on the phone
off.
with you, right?
Another thing that's very, very how can I say, big that's going around. They will call you on the phone, and they will ask you, they will say something like, is this Donald? When you say yes, they've just recorded your voice saying yes.
Yes, yeah.
And they can use that to access other information of yours. Listen, cybersecurity, all the internet, cell phones, there are a lot of people that are out there to take your money.
Yes.
You have to be, if you're not sure, hang up the phone. When someone calls you, if you answer the phone, just don't say a word.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I promise you they'll hang up. All right, so you have to protect yourselves where securing your money, securing your livelihood. I mean, I actually had this happen to me. I created an account at Harbor Freight, not a checking account, not a credit card, just a rewards card, to get your information. They can send you flyers and all of that. You had to be careful doing that as well.
Even that, yes,
because someone from Harbor Freight actually created a charge account using my information. And I had Harbor Freight calling me. I called them. I said, listen, I don't have a credit card with Harbor Freight. So I had to go through all of the reporting for identity theft and all of that. They took it off. But just be careful. Don't just give people information out over the phone. Be careful with this tap and pay. Even your contacts, your personal information on your phone. I don't know why these phone companies made it like this. Somebody can walk past your phone and grab your information. So you have to be very, very careful. I do want to thank Shiloh so much for being here to share some. I appreciate you, young man. I really do. I really appreciate you because the information that you just gave is very, very, very important. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
And I want to say to Timmy, even you who doesn't have any credit now, you need to be checking even your credit report because you don't know who might have established something in your name.
That's true.
Yeah.
You need to check, and you go to, like Pastor Glenda said, go to Experian, Equifax,
TransUnion.
and TransUnion.
Credit Karma, I have that. I can go
Credit Karma is not enough.
I mean, it's just do two. It doesn't do experience.
Yeah. And the lenders don't even look at Credit Karma. They look at the three major ones. That's, yeah. So make sure you check yours, and we'll help you if you need some help remembering how to do that.
I got so tickled laughing when Pastor said, hang up the phone, or Glenda, your brother.
He's like,
Talk a foreign language. And they said, sir, do we have great credit? He started talking real English. He probably listening. And they hang up. Because they said, I don't know who this crazy fool. Then they called, but we be in the car. They called back. He said, I don't know. Go. I said, hang up that phone. He said, they'll never get me.
My husband does that too. Bless you.
Name.
right, God
I
bless you.
said, if they don't have a name, I don't answer.
There you
That's
go.
right. That's
And,
right.
if they don't leave a message in a short period of time, I
Right.
block it.
That's it. That's right. That's exactly right.
Nobody in North Dakota. I was like,
That's right. Yes, sir.
they call from all over the place.
One more thing, and I'll be done. Don't anybody think that their credit profile is safe,
Right.
because Equifax was breached,
Yes.
That's
Yes.
true.
and
Yeah.
millions of people's identities, including mine, was released to whoever breached it. So what happened with me? I started getting packets in the mail from banks, like thanks for opening an account. I didn't open an account with you. I got one from Wells Fargo. I have an account with Wells Fargo, and they opened up another account in my name. I said, "How did you? I already have an account with you guys. How did you let somebody open up?"
Another
And they
account.
did it inside the branch.
Wow.
I said, "How did you let somebody open up an account in my name?"
They're
And-
good. They are good.
You know,
They are good.
And I'm like,
They are
"Don't you need
good.
my ID?"
They had an ID.
So just make sure that you do check your credit reports from all the three agents just to see what's on it. Because it took me months
To clear them.
because
Yes.
matter of fact, a couple of the bureaus wouldn't even talk to me because they thought I was the person.
Defrauded her.
Yeah, they thought I was the one who hacked William's account. So when they asked me, okay, well, we're gonna have you verify that you're William. So they was like, what's your mother's maiden name? And I told them, and they was like, that's not right. They would say, what street did you grow up on? I gave them the street. They said, that's not the answer we have. The last question I answered, they was like, sir, we can't verify your identity, and we can't answer any more questions. And that was the end of the conversation with the credit bureau. So I had to wait months until new information was posted to the account, and then I could answer those questions. So they were actually, there was a purchase made on this date from this store. What was the amount? I had to go through my credit card records and name that amount. Only then did they say, yeah, you're the real me. And I was able to get back into my account and change all my information back. My phone number. They had changed my phone number. So they had control of my whole profile and creating accounts, in my name. Bank accounts, several banks.
They're good. They are
And not
good.
only that, we were getting prepared for a church a couple months ago, and I get an alert on my phone that said my credit card had just been used in New York. And they presented my credit card.
You sitting here in Maryland.
And I'm saying, it's impossible. I have my credit card in my wallet.
Wow.
They actually purchased something in New York with my credit card.
Wow.
So like I said, don't assume that your credit is safe just because you think their goal is to keep your information safe. Because hackers are always smarter. They're always ahead
They're a step
of
ahead.
the law.
They're a step ahead.
Yeah, they're ahead of everybody else. Everybody else trying to catch up to the hackers.
Well, did you
No, no,
They even take money out your checking account.
no.
Yeah.
Some of the money taken out of my checking account.
Cause one of my nieces told me to just get my money out the bank.
Put it under your pillow,
House catch on
under
fire,
the mattress.
lost everything. So it's just weird, stuff that's going on. Oh, he just bought me one. Yeah. We both have one, as a matter of fact. That's what she was saying, 'cause I
Well,
worried,
well,
and our age,
I don't,
we hit no
I can just tell you, I don't agree with that because that is very unsafe. There's no security. That you can't use your homeowner's insurance or your life insurance or any kind of body's insurance to cover cash money that you had sitting at home. That is what was done back in the days because our older ancestors could not get bank
Go to the
accounts.
banks,
They could
right.
not go
They
to the
couldn't go
bank.
to the banks.
They didn't have ID or what have you. It was too far to drive. So they kept it at home because understand back then it was safer and more convenient. We are living in a time now where the convenience part of it is changing. And it kind of is more convenient to have it in the bank than it is to have it at home because now I don't have to, and more safe, I don't have to run around with a couple $1,000s in my pocket because I'm going Christmas shopping when I can just swipe the card. I can put the money in the bank. Do we all have some money stashed away somewhere at home? Yes, and Christina, I'm not telling you where it is, but we do. but the majority of it, well, yeah, I'm gonna let you know so that in the event something ever happens to Dad and I, then you know what to do. But say it again. Yeah, you be finding. But it, and we're gonna be closing out because we are out of time.
Yeah.
But just understand, security-wise, peace of mind-wise, for you and your children and your children's children, keeping it at home is not safe. Now, as much as people don't trust banks, FDIC for banks,
Yes, yes.
NCUA for
They are
credit unions.
insured,
They
yes.
are insured. So for that money that you have stashed at home, that you feel safer with it at home, I'm telling you, you choose what banking institution you want to use, whether you like a bank or you like a credit union. It's up to you. I'm more partial to one because that's what I was in, but I've been involved and I am still involved with both. It is safer. It is insured. And you may, depending on how you have it in there, get a little bit of interest. But I don't have my money in banks to get interest. I know that sounds weird, but they aren't paying interest to the degree that it's going to benefit
Make
you.
a difference.
It's in there for that peace of mind and that safety that I have. So whether I got $10 in there or I got $10,000 in there, it's safe. Can it be hacked? Anything in this world can be hacked. So I'm going to go back to the one statement I made and I'm going to be done. Be vigilant. Check your statements regularly. I check my bank account every week. All right, so whether you check it daily, you check it weekly, or you check it monthly, you need to check it to know what went in, you put in.
What's going out?
What's going out, you took it out. If anything in between that don't work, don't look right, get on the phone and start calling mama, daddy, anybody you want to call, but find out what's going on.
Call the banker.
Well, we are out of time.
We're out of time. Did everybody have a good time?
Yay.
Was it valuable? Yeah. Yes. So we truly, truly, truly thank you all for coming. We thank you all for joining us on social media. We love you all. God bless you.
We gotta talk about, like when you retire and you roll over your money, I need some help.
All right, we got that too. We got that one. Yeah, we're gonna do this again.
I can talk afterwards.
Yep. And we're gonna do this again. We will be announcing it and promoting it even more so. So
Yes.
send your questions to us. Send us what you want to talk about, and we will be ready. Yes.
Last thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank everybody. I have learned a lot.
Wonderful.
Well,
wonderful.
thank you for coming.
Yes, yes.
Would have made me a little nervous, but.
Sorry. Yeah. All right. Goodbye,
All right, goodbye, everybody.
Thank you.
Yay. Thank you, CTE, for hosting.
Yes. Yeah.